Star Wars has changed my life in a lot of ways. It's given me and those I've worked with, I think, the opportunity to do things, be places, collaborate with certain people, tell certain stories that I think we probably wouldn't have been able to otherwise, and certainly grapple with all sorts of logistical and practical, and sometimes fascinating, issues and challenges. But at the end of the day, the thing that makes Star Wars work is its sense of humanity, its sense of adventure, its sense of heart, and the idea, the spirit of, the most average among us can be the most extraordinary person, and affect the outcome of and help defeat the most terrifying evil. And that's sort of an undeniable thing.
I think it will be really moving. I've found it's really emotional for me, at least, and I think it has been for other people. But it's really big themes that are sort of, if you took away the space element, it's just like people trying to figure it out and confronted with these really difficult obstacles. And that, I think, is the transcending thing of you could take this all away, and obviously the space thing is the thing, it's Star Wars. But it's these really moving small and big stories that are all interlinked, and how one thing cause and effect, like one thing, how that's affecting the fate of the galaxy. So hopefully people will feel that watching it.
If this mission fails, it was all for nothing.
With this one, it wraps it up in a nice red bow tie, and then you look back at the first film, The Force Awakens, you realise that everything has led to this moment. And for me, discussing that with JJ and talking to him about it creatively was something that was always a main topic for us, but something that I'm very, very excited about. It felt nice to stand there with, and it's just me, Daisy, and Oscar, and we're kind of like, oh wow, like this is truly it, like the three, main characters in this story, and it's a blessing and an honor.
This episode 9, what JJ and Chris have done it's a monumental task. They've had to really find a way to encompass the entire Skywalker saga that's lasted for 40 plus years, and to find a way to meaningfully make it all feel both surprising and also inevitable. And I think that's exactly what they've done. I think once you get to the end, I know when I first read the script and I got to the end, I was so overcome with emotion because it had a finality to it, which it's just hard to imagine that Star Wars could ever have that, because I think one of the most amazing things about the Star Wars universe, and really what George Lucas did from the very get-go, is he made it feel like there was always so much story happening outside of the one you were watching. Every prop, every character felt like it had its own long history, and we were just getting to see a glimpse. By starting with episode 4 originally, already you're starting in media res, you're starting in the middle of the story, and so people could just pour their imagination into, well, what was happening before? Who is this person? Where did this person come from? And I think the mystery of that is also what created such a phenomenon. And so to take all of that and to capture that spirit and bring it to a conclusion has been such an amazing task, and I think they've done an incredible job.
There's lots of reasons why those movies have such longevity or touch so many different people from different cultures is its specificity with a story, but at the same time is so relatable. Being able to tell a very specific world, but make it applicable to such a large culture, and not sacrificing character for spectacle, even though spectacle is a huge part of that world.
It was incredible. I mean, there were so many times walking on set, I would just think to myself how many months it took for people to build this as well as design it. And that was definitely one of those moments. And there were so many scenes with so many Resistance members, and it was just overwhelming. It really felt like you were there. So it was really, really cool.
To go back to the beginning of all of this Star Wars business, I mean, the London Symphony, who contributed enormously to the energy and the sound of what Star Wars has been.
My scenes, I got to really work with a lot of the real actors, which was so helpful. And amazingly, Star Wars has these big, beautiful sets. You're not imagining that much of it because they've built these insanely massive, incredible sets. So you're actually in them, and you do feel like you're in Star Wars. You're like, I am in the galaxy right now.
I think reading the script for the first time, I was just thrilled. I think what they've managed to do at all stages is keep it surprising without feeling forced. You know, I think that's a really hard balance to strike, and I think that JJ and Chris really did a fantastic job about just keeping the surprises coming, but it all feeling part of the universe. You know, so I was thrilled when I read it, and yeah, proper page turner.
When you are facing somebody who is wearing a mask on top of that head, it is intimidating, because in real life you unless somebody's covered in a balaclava, you can see the person's eyes and you know what you're dealing with. You've got somebody dressed like him with this incredible presence that he has, physicality. It is just by its nature intimidating. Added to that, there is the intensity and commitment that he brings to playing this part. So the combination of the two make for an intimidating presence.
Yesterday was my last day ever, I think, on a Star Wars set, at least as far as 3PO is concerned, because finally I did the last shot on episode 9, and it was strange for me and quite moving, quite sort of, as they say, bittersweet moment. Making movies is hard work and fun, and the great joy for me, of course, is throughout Star Wars, I've been C-3PO all through the episodes, 1 to 9 now, and to finally hit the end was quite something. To have actually managed to survive this long, in every sense of the word, was it was a telling moment. I've been in Star Wars since day one, out in Tunisia in 1976, and that memory stays with me very strongly.
The Force will be with you.